And I am Decoding Makubedu, now known as Gogo Khanyakude. I began my journey as the Sangoma Ektwasen in 2013, where I graduated the following year in 2014 as Sangoma Ninyanga. So in my core function, I am a Sangoma, which means that I'm a diviner and I connect people with their ancestry genealogy and as how that informs their life purpose and what they've been called to do, because we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Also then working as Inyanga, which means I'm an ethno-medicine practitioner. I use plant-based medicine in order to heal on a mind, body and spiritual level. I am also Ikobela, which means that I initiate others who have the calling to answer to become healers or abangoma. I'm based in Pretoria and in Nelspruit. I work also in the space of mainstream and media in terms of different TV, radio, and print publications, mainstreaming and advocating for Indigenous knowledge issues as an Indigenous knowledge consultant, running my own consultancy called Ugudloza Indigenous Consultancy. A strong passion of mine is the teaching of the importance as to how knowing who you are, where you come from, your cosmology, knowing your cultural practices and your traditions, knowing your history from your own indigenous narrative, how that informs your identity and ultimately your personhood and is able to align you with your soul purpose. Tokoza. We're so curious to understand what are beads. So we'll start with perhaps what is the history of beads. So beads have a long history throughout humanity, but some of the oldest beads that have been found in archaeological sites dating back to the regions of 25,000 years to 75,000 years. So beads have always been used as a sort of cultural representation for people to be a marker of self-identification. So historically, beads were made from fish bones, vertebrae, and then it went until about 3,500 years ago in Mesopotamia, Egypt, Kemet, where glass beads were invented using ash and limestone. So in the history of beads, in terms of what their use has been, these have been used, as I'm saying, to be able to represent certain sort of a symbolic understanding of, if I'm wearing this beads, it means that I am a woman who is at this age or who is ready to go into marriage, or a woman who is married, or the same with men. So it works on how we structure ourselves in terms of using those beads as an adornment. When we then go into the questions around beads and the spirituality of beads, how do beads connect with someone who is spiritual? So as said, if we understand that beads have always been used as part of a self-identification marker, we understand that from science, spirit or energy never dies, it only transforms. So it means that I, as a person who's sitting here, as I am seated, when I pass on all of the things I would have interacted with, be it clothes, be it places, be it people, my energy will forever be connected to that in a collective consciousness. So when someone is spiritually called, what we then use the beads for is that they are a conduit of connection, or a connector that is able to help you connect with the energy of wherever that gift is coming from. So when we understand what are the spiritual beads, we'll speak about it from Ngoma context. So basically, as Izangoma, there are basic colors we use in the Nguni understanding, which would be the colors which is black, red, and white. And the black, red, and white each are connected to how we heal when it comes to ethno-medicine, because there is black muti, there is red muti, and there is white muti, which is taken on its color. And each of those colors are representative of certain energies. Muti that is black is meant to heal things which have been there in the familial or in the bloodline, things that have been causing misalignment for a long time. also have to do with such as witchcraft, curses, and hexes, or intergenerational trauma. So when we're working with the color black, it's around going back to the source of where things come from. When we then move to the color red, red is representational of things of the blood, things that have to do with our productivity, things that have to do with the physical. So the red color in beads representation is representative of that. When we go then into the color that is white, that is around light. And when we speak of light, it's around things which are able to help you recognize your soul purpose and your soul intention. So white muti and white beads are representative of all of those energies which help you align with the essence of who you are and your purpose and what would be said to be your calling or your gift. So these colors are generally used in our beads as spiritual people. So how these beads carry on also to be used as spiritual people, specifically as Sangoma. On my neck, I have a certain necklace on, which could be said to be an amulet. This is called Infiso. This Infiso carries certain muti inside it that helps carry certain vibrations which help me to connect and modulate the spiritual vibrations around me so I can tap into my spiritual being, also without my spiritual being then overwhelming me. So we as Abantu Babangoma, we use beads also combined with muti to make what we call imfiso. Another example of what imfiso looks like would be these beads right here. And how you would put it on is that you would put it across like this. So lady imfiso tebenguni, it's for our Nguni ancestors. And you'll see the colors that are attached to them is white and red, which are typically Nguni colors. And this comes from the fact that Nguni people in our practice, blood sacrifice and the use of blood is very integral to how we connect to spirituality because we are cattle herders in our origins. So to connect and to give thanks to God, to give thanks to our ancestors, we would often offer up our cattle. So that red is also representative of the blood, but it's also a historical marker because the Nguni people were involved in a lot of wars. So the blood is also representative of all of the blood that has been spilt. The white then is around bringing in the energy of purification, of cleansing, of all of God with a certain rite of passage. So most beads, when we go in a strict indigenous sense from Isintu, always then are spiritual in their consideration. But in modern times, it has become popular that people then adorn beads because of their aesthetic value or their aesthetic representation. So it means that you could find somebody who has the very same beads as these as I have, and to them it is something decorative, and I could have these and they are a spiritual sort of connected because my ancestors or certain rite of passage dictates that I should have this sort of bead set as part of what I own. So how you would then be able to differentiate is that Isintu is about people and interconnectedness, is that you would ask instead of assuming because there is no clear marker unless something perhaps looks like, as I've said earlier on, like these beads particularly, which you can see have certain things built into them, or these sets of beads which have horns and have some of this bark on it, which show, see, this is part of regalia. Those are some of the beads which clearly shout out that this is something that has more than just an aesthetic value into it. Another question that a lot of people often have is that how do how what do the different colors of beads represent? And often when I speak around, indigenous knowledge, I try and cultivate the understanding that indigenous knowledge is not a one size fits all. It's both and. So it means that, for example, I could have an understanding that the color white as a beading, what it connects to is the color of purity. That white also connects to Mhlope, as I've mentioned before. That white also connects to the color of culture, the white beads being around acknowledgement, or when you have a calling representing acknowledgement. But that does not bar somebody else from having a different understanding of the beads. I could carry on and speak maybe around the color black, and they're saying that black connects with having a gift of working with Yama or black based medicine, such as Gogo healing things that have to do, with dark curses and witchcraft, and also saying that perhaps you also have Hosanna ancestry, and your Hosanna people being your Kalanga people who are rainmakers. To them, where the color black and white represents the duality between, the dance between creation and destruction, which is necessary for life to carry on going about. So it could also then mean something else to somebody else. We could carry on and speak maybe around the color red, and that red could be representative of coming from Guni lineage, or red could be representative of being gifted with sevenza, with the red muti, things that have to do with the blood, the physical body, healing the physical body. But red could also then connect, if you look at it from a chakra system, with what the red color and that chakra specifically is. So the colors of beads is around how you name and you code them, because they are representative, or they are significant markers. So within each culture, within each person or spiritual expression, there will be an encoded understanding as to what each color of that bead means. So it means that if you're curious around understanding more about beads, spend more time understanding beads firstly from a cultural perspective. That perhaps, as you would know, the Xhosa people are very big on white and turquoise beading, or white and black beading. What is the reason for that? What do those colors represent for them? Is it because perhaps there are people that use that the blue could be this, the turquoise could be because they are close to the ocean? So it's showing that in their lineage there are people close to the ocean. You could then go maybe into looking into your beads and how it is that they're very colorful and what that represents, and that could be perhaps the understanding of that. The Bedi collective is a group of many smaller people like Batokwa, Bagoni, and all Bahatla, Libasia, who have come together now under the rainbow and are called Bedi, but they all have their own unique cultures. So when they adorn themselves in those beads, it's to show a representation of that. We are one house now that comes from many other smaller houses which have come together. Beads are a beautiful conversation to have, and I hope that this video has at least briefed your interest to go out and to speak more with people who you see, adorned in beads, and asking them as to what do these beads mean specifically to you. Or perhaps even going out and finding beautiful books. This one of the books I have is called African Elegance, and it has beautiful knowledge around beads and African indigenous knowledge, and just going on a journey of self-exploration towards that.